Well, after last week, welcome back by the way, after last week the knives are out, shall we say, for me to do more impressions. So as you can see, I've gone for a cross between Noddy Holder and Sting. It's rather a strange effect, and if you're watching Nod or Sting, no offence. Okay, so straight on to book 2. So continuing directly on from where we left Brody in book 1, he continues to battle his way through more captivity. This involves much more bloody and violent encounters of one sort or another with Charlotte, and encounters with many others that I won't go into detail about now, because that's for you to discover as you perhaps go and buy a copy. But he also discovers his own past, because in an attempt to buy time, Everett sends Brody to another timeline using his mystical Book of Souls, the fabled Necronomicon, as it's called. Brody ends up as himself, but back in the body of his 11-year-old self, and he starts to relive a harrowing section of his life where he finds details of his past that somehow he'd managed to block out in his older memories. Meets up with his buddy Cash, who obviously doesn't realise it's him in this form. He just sees him as his younger school friend. I won't go into details on that bit either, because once you can see how that pans out. But he finally ends up towards the end of book 2, trapped in a situation back in Everett's clutches, along with various other characters he's met along the way and people who he's befriended. And they end up in this underground cavern. And they go on a daring expedition to try and find a way out of this deadly trap that Everett's finally caught them in. And it is looking very, very final. And they're trapped by fire, water, and all sorts of other different things. And as they finally manage to get close to escaping, they realise that they're going to end up back in Charlotte's headquarters and probably will be immediately caught once again. Which leaves the link to book 3 being a potential very, very bloody and violent affair. So I'll leave it there, and we'll pick up with some teasers for book 3 next week. And thanks for looking in and watching the vlog, and go to edjpublishing.com and perhaps buy a copy of book 1 and book 2. And you can catch up with me next week when we start talking about the prospects for book 3. Thanks very much. No knives.